Things could have been so different. And who knows how many Viagras have been missed in the past because we just don't see what the drug is doing. I'm Jonathan O'Keefe, founder at Machine Medicine Technologies. I'm a doctor, a neuroscience scientist, and a machine learning engineer. And I'm here today because our inability to measure behaviours is crippling our efforts to develop new therapies for brain disease, and that has got to change. 38% of the European population suffers annually a brain disorder, and the combined economic load of brain disease in the EU and US every year is more than $2 trillion and rising year on year as the populations age. So what is the fundamental problem? In a word, complexity. The core function of central nervous systems is to produce complex behaviours, to grasp objects, to walk, to talk. Central nervous systems pump out complex behaviours like the heart pumps out blood, but we can't measure behaviour like we can a volume of blood. Instead, we have to rely on subjective and imprecise tools like patient diaries, patient questionnaires, and clinical scores. And these expensive and ineffective tools have real consequences for the development of neurotherapeutics. Clinical trials in CNS disease are 30% more expensive and 50% more likely to fail than those in other categories. No surprise that AstraZeneca and Pfizer have all reduced their R&D in neuroscience. But machine medicine is changing this. We are utilising the tools of the AI revolution to tame this complexity and produce objective, cheap biomarkers of human behaviour. We started by collaborating with clinicians in Parkinson's disease, through which we have video data of patients on and off medication. We've proven that our computer vision algorithms can track the features of this disease faster, cheaper, and better than the clinicians. Now it's time to take this tech into the field, and I'm asking today for champions in medical devices or pharma to help us do this. Thank you.
We're going to hear from so many different sectors. Fantastic. I would now like to welcome up Anil Ara and Graham Pink, who are from Orbital.
Hi, I'm Graham Pink, CEO of Orbital. We provide business intelligence software. The problems we address are projects being late and the wrong products being built. Our solution is to help companies fail faster using our simulator, which is a suite of cloud-based digital transformation tools called Crystal. It's unique because we digitize a business and constantly evaluate thousands of different options, good and bad, ultimately driven by artificial intelligence. So organisations perform better when decisions are based on data, when decisions are timely, and the outcomes are actually evaluations rather than just guesswork. So we are currently raising £1 million to increase our sales beyond our existing customer base and to further develop our technology. What would really help our marketing is a photo with Your Royal Highness. Our real ask is for introductions to government, in particular the Bayes Minister Greg Clark and local government Minister Sajid Javid, to help, because we can help make UK PLC more productive using Orbital tools. And listening to Gordon Messenger today, we can help him with analysing how to spend his £800 million over 10 years. And we won't need much of his £800 million. So from managers up to executives across industry and government, Orbital gives organisations greater insight into their business, its problems and its solutions to make them more productive, more efficient and more competitive in this complex world. So if you want to know more about investment or how to work with us, then we'd be very happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Graham, just to help the audience, can you give a practical example of how you have used this technology to increase productivity in an organisation, whether that be public or private?
So in a company, you often find that the business is overworked, there's too many projects going on, and the tough decision is what not to do. And it is typical of executives to say, do everything, because that's a very easy decision to make. The tough decision is working out which ones to kill off. And in order to do that, you need to understand the effect on R&D, the effect on marketing, the effect on the business to make those key decisions. And if you can make those decisions early, you actually deliver more products on time, to budget, and a more successful business.
And what sort of application do you think it could have for defence?
For defence, I mean, we're talking today about £800 million in innovation. That's a whole vast number of projects. Someone has to track those projects and understand which ones are going to bring the greatest benefit. Could be tangible or intangible, could be financial. How do you choose between those? How do you work out where to apply the resource? And once you see the problems, you have people at the head of the organisation who have great experience and can work out where to apply that. If only they knew the problems existed. And it's allowing them to see those problems.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you.
Right, we are now going to hear from Mark Seddon, who is coming from Pact Global.
Good afternoon, Your Highness, judges, ladies and gentlemen. As they've just said, my name is Mark Seddon, and I'm CEO of Pact Global. Pact is a claims concierge. We've developed a worldwide automated artificial intelligence claims platform that takes insurance claims from weeks to minutes. A couple of years ago, I want to tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, my mum and dad booked a holiday of a lifetime. So they were flying off to Sri Lanka. And the day before, it was Father's Day, the day before they were going to fly, my dad suddenly, unexpectedly passed away from a heart attack. So being the son, I took over most of the responsibilities dealing with everything. So I took over handling the actual claim itself. So I wanted to take her away from the grief and the hassle of having to deal with something like that. So what I did was, over the next 12 weeks, I had emails, letters that I had to personally write. I had to fill in claims forms, then had to send them further documentation. And all of this just to resolve what should be a very simple claim over the next 12 weeks. As you can guess, this isn't the type of thing that you really want to be doing at a time of grief, especially losing someone like your father. And I can assure you it's probably one of the most stressful things you have to deal with at that moment in time. One of the things that we've actually discovered is this is quite a common occurrence, quite a common theme. We actually came across an instance where a lady went on holiday with her husband, and her husband sadly passed away while they were on holiday. And the claim system really let her down. So while she was away, she didn't get the support from the claims company. So what actually happened was she ended up having a breakdown because she couldn't deal with the financial burden. She couldn't deal with the stress of actually taking everything on. So as you can imagine, these types of trauma and stress that people go through, in this day and age, we should be able to develop a solution that can actually take away those stresses. And that's essentially what we've done with our automated artificial intelligence claims platform. In January 2017, we started working with a worldwide underwriter to completely understand the claims process and then completely rebuild it. All of the current pain points that insurers actually feel, we've actually rectified with the Pact product. We offer solutions back to underwriters, insurers, and claims handlers. Our ever-present claims button, which unfortunately you can't see because it's behind me, is always there to actually assist the customer that as soon as they've got a crisis, they can phone. In April, we're actually going live with 4 underwriters, 8 brokers, and 3 claims companies in the UK, Ireland, Canada, I'll sneak in Kenya and South Africa.
Let me ask one quick question. Obviously, there's some very clever AI technology behind this system. How do you think we can apply some of the fundamentals of it to other areas outside of just straight insurance claims?
Yeah, so the artificial intelligence, obviously, it's constantly learning. So we pull in data from all over the globe. So we've got data coming from all over Europe, Latin America, Africa, and we pull in all this data just around fraud in general, not just claims, but fraud in general. So we're pulling in financial fraud, money laundering, we're pulling in insurance fraud, and we can actually use all of this data then to actually serve financial services as well as insurance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm glad we got to hear from the trumpeters at least once. Fantastic. Okay, we are now going to hear from Lucinda Kelly and James Kenny from Property.
Hello, my name is Lucinda and I'm the CEO and founder of Property. Property is an online platform that connects brands with spaces for experiential marketing and retail campaigns using AI. The fastest growth sector of marketing budgets globally is experiential marketing. This is because more global brands are seeking physical locations to better connect and engage with customers, ultimately to retain them. The challenge they have, though, is that they're using existing platforms that offer spaces, but none of them are intelligent, and none of them give them data-driven insights on where their audiences are located, nor does it give them data on the measurement or the success of their short-term campaign. We validated across the UK and Ireland with over 20 marketing agencies and have got some great feedback and are building our platform based on this. What Property does is takes a combination of telecommunications data and social media APIs to actually discover audiences by geolocation on heat maps. We then present property that's available on short-term basis on these maps that the agencies and brands can easily book. We look after the license agreement, the insurance, and the payments. And also, we're building AI technology that measures the impact of the campaign, and that looks at footfall, dwell time, and sentiment analysis and social media insights, all feedback from the agencies on what they're looking for. What was really important to me as a marketer is that the platform is easy to use and is not built for data scientists, it's built for marketers, simple people like me. And for the first time ever, we're building a platform that enables brands globally to measure and book and discover audiences as they would digital media channels. So who's the team behind this? I'm Lucinda. I'm ex-Paddy Power. I have a corporate background in product and marketing roles and worked very closely with programmatic marketing, so understand how well we use digital media. The brains behind it is Dr. Gerard Lynch, who has a PhD in AI and sentiment analysis, and he's building all the proprietary technology. Joe Pakenham has come with me from Paddy Power, and he's head of product, and Sarah Bradshaw is head of marketing coming from KBC Bank, senior marketing role. We're also supported by some great investors and advisors, investors including Growing Capital, Enterprise Ireland, the European Investment Fund. We've raised €500,000 to date, and so I'm looking at time. We're moving really, really quickly. We set up 18 months ago. We won Retail Startup of the Year 18 months ago. Is that 3 minutes?
It goes very quickly. Can you just tell us briefly, what is the biggest challenge to scaling and expanding the business at the moment? What is the most help that the audience can give you?
So I was going to go to the ask. We have raised €500,000 to date. We've got customers like global brands like Volvo, Peroni, we're working with Hamilton, TfL, House of Fraser. It's money and it's investment. We're about to open an investment round in Q2, and I'd love to speak to people in this community about looking to a strategic partnership with potential investors as well. So,
Thank you very much. I think I'm actually just going to take these chaps home with me. I have this vision of standing in my kitchen and instead of screaming up the stairs, kids, it's dinner time, I just have this going. Right. Our sixth pitch is from Richard Atfield and Paul Roos, and they are from UQuant Limited.
Hi. Manufacturers today share one big common problem. They all have to reinvent how they design products, making better use of data. This is particularly difficult for companies that need to design complex products, because they heavily rely on virtual prototyping software. And this is software full of archaic methods, really ripe for disruption by artificial intelligence and data science. Let's say 20 years ago, it may have seemed miraculous that you could model and test a rocket, an engine, a car, from raw material to open road in a completely virtual way. Today, however, we still use the same methods, and they're out of date. Why? Because the software we're using comes from a time when there was no Google Assistant, no big data, no machine learning, and no Internet of Things. As a result, virtual engineering software today is much more complicated than it really needs to be. And this is proven by research. Designers waste on average up to 40% of their design time on monotonous, tedious, boring, repetitive tasks that add no value. Engineering companies in the UK spend up to 12% of their R&D development budget on redesigning products and correcting engineers' mistakes, because products, just like data today, have become more complex. And lastly, especially in big corporations, designs go through different departments and there's hundreds of iterations, really slowing down the development process. We're DuPont. We're a team of engineers with experience from the aerospace and defense industry, and when we thought about solving these problems and what the software of the future should really look like, we started thinking of the comic superhero Iron Man and his artificial intelligence Jarvis. Because whenever this superhero Iron Man wants to design a new technology, he just asks his AI Jarvis to run the necessary calculations for him overnight. And then the next day, Jarvis comes back to him and is like, okay, so the advantages and disadvantages of your design are this, it could fail in this way, and I would recommend you try this next, so why would you try this, sir? And when we heard that, we were like, this is what engineering design should really be like today, right? And that's why at DuPont we're trying to make this vision a reality by building the first AI assistant for engineering. For the last 3 years, we've worked with various industrial customers like NASA and McLaren. And our mission is to reduce the design time of complex systems by more than half and help every engineer become a technology expert. Thank you.
A double-sided question. First of all, can you tell us how far the actual technology has got? How far into a final product, or which version are you up to?
Yes.
And which sectors have you engaged with, particularly in defence and security? Have you had any conversations yet? Where are you up to?
Excellent. So I'm happy to announce that we're currently in our pilot testing phase. So we're doing pilot tests with McLaren Automotive and L'Oreal. And I'm really here to see and look for applications in the defense industry. So I'd be really happy, for example, to talk to Alistair Goodson and see whether there's any scope for application in the defense industry.
Okay, but no conversations to date so far?
No.
Okay, fantastic. We'll see what we can do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, our seventh proposal is from David Fulton from We See AI.
Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time today. My name is David Fulton. I'm the CEO of We See. We See is on a quest to understand human deceit. We use our deep learning-based computer vision to unlock the world's visual content. A content's an interesting phrase. Cisco predicts that by 2020 there'll be 65 trillion images, 6 trillion videos uploaded onto the web, and over 80% of all internet traffic will be video-based. It's a lot of content, but the thing is, a lot of it is undetectable. At its core, We See has a visual intelligence engine that's able to read objects in an image and detect video and categorize down to an individual level. I'll talk about the product development further through this 3-minute conversation. In August of last year, we had our first revenue-generating client. It was a Swiss broadcaster that had the rights to the European Porsche Open. We trained our technology on the top 15 golf players that had a backdrop of the top 5 brand sponsors. In real time, you've got 8 streams of content that in real time we were detecting those golf players, head down, partially obscured, which they should be, with a backdrop of the brand logos of the sponsors. And in real time, we're detecting those snippets of content and pushing them out for social media distribution. We had over 98% accuracy on facial recognition, 100% accuracy on logo detection. The penny dropped to me at that point around where do we take this technology. In October of last year, I had an incredibly talented team of research and developers, and I wanted to understand the point around, the human quest, the quest towards human deceit. So we built an MVP which is able to detect human emotions, micro-expression, eyebrow, gaze, pupil dilation, skin tone color as part of the roadmap to help detect and understand suspicious behavior. We have a 3-pronged commercial approach. The first of that is in the media industry, where we're working closely with one of the world's largest communication and ideas businesses, and taking our technology to one of their key travel clients as a global client. The second is in recruitment, where we're starting to work on honesty analysis and sentiment analysis, and understand whether there's a credible candidate or not. And the third is within fintech and insurance services, where we're able to help detect the right applicants and also at the back end help to reduce fraudulent claims or fraud prevention. My ask of the audiences today is to Mr. Ian Rand. You mentioned you have 1 million clients in the UK, and I would love your help to get traction with 100 of those clients. And secondly to that, we are on a current funding round, and if anyone would like to join the journey of WeSee, I'd love your help. Thank you. I hope you see what we see.
So again, similar question. Can you tell us in terms of things like micro-expressions and some of that early development, where are you in terms of the product?
Sure. The team surprised me. They actually came back with some of the world's leading academia. Natalia, my lead research scientist, is within a cohort of 50 professors in the world that are working to understand human deceit. Decepticons in Stanford. They built a neural network, which I've actually have embedded into my device, my handset, which is the first time we understand you've got a neural net that is analyzing human emotions and micro-expressions specifically, and then we'll be transferring and relaying that back information to our network, and then in the use case of a claims handling situation to a claims handler's dashboard to highlight peaks and troughs where there is particularly suspicious behavior. But there's lots of applications, particularly in defense and security as well. Thank you.
Final question. As you say, in terms of defense and security, there are a multitude of different applications of this,
Yes.
I would imagine. Tell me a little bit about the recruitment side in terms of the micro-expressions, because that's particularly interesting.
Yeah, micro-expressions are typically demonstrated when an individual is at loss, or they've got something quite significant value. So the recruitment, where we're working with biometric questions and psychological questions to understand various different facial cues and triggers that will help a candidate score. We have a client that signed an MOU, which we're deploying in early Q2, and we're currently analysing the video and labeling that data set at the moment. From a security standpoint, we would like to catch the baddies, and if we can help train the technology to detect certain profiles of individuals in CCTV or other kind of forms of content. Again, we're able to analyze in real time and detect variables of streaming content. Thank you very much.
That puts a whole new light on have you done your homework, doesn't it, when I get home tonight? Wow. Okay. We're now moving on to the Internet of Things. I would like to welcome Alexandra Pieper and Ashley Avis from Valerian.
Hello. So, roads, the largest infrastructure on Earth, are going through a data crisis. Today, only 4% of our roads support any type of monitoring technology. It is unfortunate, knowing that having the right information at the right time, we would be able to reduce our journey times by 20% and to cut 31% of road injuries. It also means that as driverless cars are about to enter our traffic, there is no technology to support or to monitor them. It might seem surprising for an industry that is worth £50 billion. So the reason for this limited coverage today is that because the existing solutions are too fragmented, requiring up to 10 different suppliers for a single capability. They are too complex because of additional supporting infrastructure, and hence too expensive, costing up to £2.5 million per mile. Valorant has created a single solution to address this data crisis, the Valorant Smart Road System. Already today, we can help cut congestion, decrease the risk of accidents, but we're also preparing our roads for the future and the autonomous cars, while helping to ensure the exact in-lane positioning of these cars. We help them to navigate in the non-optimal conditions. We connect them to the non-connected vehicles, and we become a safety net for cybersecurity. And perhaps most importantly, we are able to roll out our solution across an entire road network seamlessly and practically for free. To understand how, I want to refer to the roadster, the British cat's eyes, the small marking devices on the road. We are turning the roadsters into smart roadsters by integrating a solar power system, a wireless communication, and a suite of sensors. Installed every 10 meters on the road, they will capture all vital information, which is traffic flow, risk, accidents, visibility, road surface condition, and for autonomous vehicles, where they are, and how they're operating. So and perhaps most importantly, as I said, we're offering a wireless, easy to install, and a solution that is 95% less expensive. So installed, the roadside gateway, will compile this information and it will send it to the server. Our cloud server will apply machine learning, and it will offer to road operators a virtual control center. So today we have raised £1.5 million. We have a working alpha product, and we have secured for 2018 £400,000 of project going into live roads. This happening is our incredible team, a very commented and talented diverse family of road engineers and industry experts. And today our ask is to get connected to state-of-the-art road operators, the M6 toll road, the M25, as there are many fields that we could explore together. Thank you.
It looks so disappointed when they finish on time. Very interesting technology. You say that you've got 400,000 of planned contract work next year. What country is that in? What road network? Tell us a little bit about it.
So we're still finalizing the contracts, but this is a very exciting time for us. So after a couple of pilots last year in the UK, in Israel, and in the US, we are having this project in the UK, going into a live motorway in the UK, and also in the US.
Okay, fantastic. Can you just tell us a little bit, you said clever engineers, tell me a little bit about the team behind the technology.
Of course. So the team usually, the founders are not able to be here today, but our CTO is a former road engineer, so he has a lot of experience in this field. Our CTO is actually has over 20 years of experience at R&D department at Intel. We have combined, we have all sort of experience with the mechanics, the hardware, the software, people coming from big corporations and also from small startups, and getting used to taking an alpha project and building it up to something that is big. So,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fascinating. Right, we are now going to hear from Ben Lowe and Ian Smith from Gospel Technology.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity, Royal Highness, and to everybody in the room. In the next 3 minutes, there will be approximately 11,000 data records stolen from organisations globally. The cost of that is around £500,000. That £500,000 is going into the hands of the wrong people. It's costing organisations a lot of money to secure this data, and this data contains very sensitive information. It contains information about us, financial information, where we live, and plenty of other things. But what is the true value of that data? What is the true value of somebody knowing where we've been exercising? What's the true value of knowing where we all shop and where we've been using our credit cards and other habits? And more importantly, what's the true value of people knowing where we are such as right here, right now. And we've all rushed into this digital connected world where the very essence of who we are as people, families, organisations, and even governments, has been traded for a long time now as a commodity to the highest bidder on the dark web and plenty of other places. As we all know from every other day, there's headlines. Cyber threats, data breaches, they're all extremely common, just because of this data is so freely available, and it's been evident that with the current technologies, it's hard to secure it, especially when you're working in distributed ways, such as supply chains, plenty of people working on the same bit of data. That's why we've built Gospel. Gospel is built on blockchain, and it's the first enterprise application of blockchain. Blockchain is the architecture which has been designed to put trust into networks and environments where there is no single trusted party. It's been evident that current technologies are just no longer fit for purpose, and from the client engagements, the investors, the advisors that we have on board, it's been extremely evident that what we're solving for our clients with this new technology has, is solving real, tangible world problems. Thank you.
For those in the audience who aren't perhaps as familiar with blockchain, can you explain the concept of how using the blockchain technology is allowing you to give that trust in data?
Of course. We all associate blockchain with Bitcoin, if we're all bluntly honest. We use a private permissioned blockchain. Bitcoin is a public permission blockchain, so everybody in the network has to do the mining, proof of work, and that takes a long time. We use a private permission network, which allows us to write enterprise data from lots of different data sources, databases, etc., and actually scale to huge networks globally. So we use a private permissioned blockchain as opposed to public blockchain.
And again, can you just tell us what stage is both the technology and the organisation at?
Yeah, so we're about to release version 3 of the platform. We have tangible clients on board. Actually, a couple of them were on the slide earlier. Can't say who. Yes, we've got a team. Our founder Ian, his previous business grew dramatically and was acquired by IBM. It was all around data storage, and the whole team behind it has come from IBM, HP, Deutsche Bank, and all their nice places. All right, thank you.
Right, we're now moving on to look at the cloud with Olga Saliba. Now, you might have to help me say your company name.
I will say it for you.
Fantastic, even better, thank you.
Hello, my name is Olga and I am Very Much Me. Very Much Me is a digital identity and personal information exchange platform. You see, the world around us is becoming increasingly digital, and as individual citizens, every single one of us have to share our identity credentials and personal information with almost every single organisation that we touch. And in return, organisations process this in silo without any real connection to that individual or to us. So my vision, or our vision at Very Much Me, is to provide organisations a real connection to that individual's gold copy digital identity that can be stored, verified and reused. If you have a look at the market opportunity in terms of digital identity, it's around 670 billion euros, it's predicted by 2020. So even at a conservative 1%, you're talking about 6.7 billion. And our platform provides a complete digital end-to-end B2C to B customer experience. And we will target this market in 3 phases. The first phase is the enterprise itself, and we will do this through digital efficiencies and also compliance, for example, the GDPR. And with that, our platform can be integrated into any onboarding journey. If you think of how many times you have to share your personal information, let's say, for example, for a mortgage application, or for perhaps recruitment, KYC purposes, etc., healthcare reasons, real estate, the list goes on. And then the second phase will be the individual citizens themselves, and that's through accessible devices such as mobile apps and Internet of Things or smart devices, etc. And the third phase we have is online services, open architecture for integrated services such as verified logins. In terms of traction, today's a really, really important day for me. I'm actually showcasing my first commercial use case at London Olympia, and I'm educating the recruitment industry about how they can better improve their processes around candidate onboarding for temporary and contract workforce. Me, myself, I come from financial services. I was a contractor for a number of years for a number of investment banks, and I had to needlessly share my personal information for pre-employment screening checks. So that is why I built my first use case, and I'm demonstrating that today, and I have that commercial use case ready that can be demonstrated. I was also part of GCHQ Cyber Accelerator Programme, one of the first cohorts that was selected. And my ask is for seed investment, and I can see that trumpet. And if you want a chance of redefining your digital identity, I'm Olga, I'm very much me, thank you.
Can you just tell us a bit of experience about the GCHQ Accelerator and a little bit about the actual case studies so we can get a better sense?
Certainly. It was an absolutely fantastic opportunity to, I just initially had a prototype and I entered the WIRA Cybersecurity Challenge. I was fortunate enough to win a place on the GCHQ Cyber Accelerator, and there I was able to workshop all my security architecture in terms of encryption techniques and how to sort of encrypt the data at transit and data at rest. So to ensure that we actually have an enterprise solution, we've built an enterprise solution. I myself come from investment banking, from compliance screening, worked for one of the most global investment banks, did client onboarding. So we were able to bake that in with a lot of the processes, a lot of the, as well, understand the processes that are involved around building that compliance solution. And I will have to dash very soon, so I am expecting to London Olympia. Thank you.
Who's not very Olympia? Thank you.
I think as an aside, that is a point we hear time and time again as we start to engage more with SMEs, that the defence and security space is a fantastic, almost hard test experience. If you can make it work, if you can get the data working in that kind of secure environment, the applications for other sectors help a lot, so I think it's an interesting one there. Okay, we are moving on with David Pryor to Resilio.
Your Royal Highness, my lords, ladies, gentlemen, good afternoon. I'd like to paint you this particularly dystopian-looking picture behind me. The world in which we operate may be getting smaller, but is actually becoming increasingly more complex. We are inundated with interconnections, dependencies. Whether your business is to deliver a pizza or to fight a brain strike, you have little visibility of that which you depend upon. The collective response to date has been to undertake digital transformation programs that elicit ever more data, but sadly, for most of us, human capacity is finite, and we simply cannot cope. Whether you are the principal weapons officer on a Type 45 destroyer, a risk assessor for an insurance company, whether you are an operations controller at an airport or a counter-terrorism analyst, you are drowning in data, most of which is noise that masks the signals of importance. Indeed, some reports indicate that as little as 2% of all collected data is actually factored into the decision-making process. Despite this, we rely upon human capability to assess, to understand, and to contextualize the information that is flowing through. We do not have the capacity to deal with it, and therefore our decision-making is slower than it could be and less complete. One response to this has been the rise of artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. But machines are not renowned for their insight and their empathy, whilst humans excel at it. Surely what we need here is actually an applied intelligence solution, one that puts the raw processing power and the repeatable logic of the machine in context and partnership with the creativity and insight of the human operator. Resilio is a cognitive systems platform. We are essentially like the parking sensor on your car. By looking at the world around you and what you are doing, we're able to detect things before they go awry and make time for you to avoid that impact. Whether public or private sector, our technology allows a continuous, real-time assessment of those considerations that are relevant to your business. I wish they would have rattled the trumpet. It allows a real-time assessment of what's going on around your business, creating a real-time pulse that you can use to get left of bank, regardless of what you are trying to achieve. We can sense what's going on inside your organisation, put that in context, and give you the ability to veer and hold around those challenges. In short, we deploy a lot of very complicated technology, which I'm more than happy to talk to you about. What are we asking for? Obviously, your support today, but we are early post-revenue. We're conducting a Series A round, and we would welcome your insight and advice. And finally, if you can make time for us, we will make time for you. Thank you.
The last post there.
I was trying.
Fantastic. Now, I think a lot of people in the audience will have seen a number of businesses come through with AI and algorithm-based processing. You talked there about bringing the computer and the human elements together. Can you say a little bit more about that for me?
Certainly. We are able to orchestrate and coordinate different machine learning capabilities if those are relevant to what you're trying to achieve. And they may not be relevant in all cases. Essentially, what we're able to do is create continuous cognitive processes that are based around your business processes and procedures, and use the power of the machine to observe real-time data streams in excess of millions of events per second to understand what's really happening around your business.
Very interesting. Very much.
Right, moving on to a more specific defence application. Richard Gill and Jeremy Finton from Drone Defence Services.
Unmanned aerial vehicles, or as they're more commonly known, drones, are not just a disruptive technology, but they're a transformative one. I'm Richard Gill, the founder of Drone Defence, and I believe that drones are going to change the way we view, interact with, and eventually move goods and people around our planet. Everything I'm doing in business is about enabling drones and demonstrating their potential. My interest in drones began while I was in the army in Afghanistan. I saw how drones of all sizes were gathering life-saving, mission-critical information for our troops, and saw this ability would be equally as applicable in the commercial world. But I wasn't the only person that was looking at commercial drones with interest. Reckless users, criminals, and terrorists also saw their potential. Drones you can buy at any high street are now being used to disrupt airports, smuggle drugs into prisons, and more alarmingly, they're being weaponized on the battlefield. The misuse of drone technology is the single greatest threat to it being widely adopted and accepted. I felt that somebody had to do something about this to stop negative drone use, otherwise the authorities would have no choice but to impose restrictions. That's why Drone Defence exists. It's our mission to protect people and organisations from the harmful use of drone technology. The business began in the summer of 2016. Since then, it's developed a range of proprietary technologies, tactics and operational procedures to protect organisations of all sizes. For temporary protection, we provide a managed counter-drone service called Drone Guardians, who have been deployed to protect weddings, sporting events and open-air festivals. For mobile protection, we have our portable Dynopa C1000 system, which provides area and point protection and is protecting a number of international high networks. And for fixed protection, we have Skyfence, which produces an electronic barrier which a drone cannot penetrate. In a world's first, Skyfence is deployed protecting Guernsey Prison. However, the future and where the most commercial potential lies is having the ability to detect, identify and track drones in real time. This will allow for a truly integrated airspace where drones can operate alongside each other and other aircraft. We're in the final stages of deploying such a system, and more details will follow in the year. So the market potential is clear. With our technology and vision, we're uniquely placed to offer services and solutions to a wide range of industries. To date, revenue has been strong, margins are good, and the business is growing. We've won multiple awards, have achieved significant early traction, and enjoyed great international media coverage. And more importantly, we're doing it, with systems deployed around the world today. So I'm looking for people who share my passion for technology and anybody who can help me on my journey. With all of my thank you very much.
So technology for a short period of time. Can you tell me one question? In terms of the technology, it's patented, it's patentable, or it is that you are first mover out there with some of this technology?
There's a lot of applications that's sort of commercially sensitive. It's difficult to patent a lot of this stuff. So the differentiator is first mover advantage, great marketing, and some fantastic user cases. So we talked about TRL levels. Guernsey, the Skyfence project, puts us at TRL level 9, and that's the only system of its kind anywhere in the world. So you can imagine the international interest, and that's a system designed and built in the UK, and it's a great export opportunity.
Fantastic. And with your background in the military, how have you found trying to access defence in terms of conversations about this?
I'll be brutally honest, it's looking at defence as this big behemoth thing. You've got to have all the right ticks in the right boxes, and you just think, let's go to where the quicker money is and exploit the commercial market. So people who have got an immediate need and cash ready, they're the people who are buying today.
Let's see if we can change that for you. Thank you very much.
Right, we are now going to hear from Joseph Videra and Guillermo Guidera from Symbiosis.
I've got his name right. Yes.
Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm 1/3 of Symbiosis, and we are creating the next generation of ballistic and blast-proof materials. We want to beat a high-speed armor or Cortex is to manufacturing.
I think the people at the back might struggle to hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So the company is less than a year old. In fact, we've been in the lab for less than that. But in that time, we have a prototype. We shot it with a hand-on type projectile at hand-on speeds, and we stopped it. So we're officially bulletproof. But we're not going to stop there. Right? We want to stop projectiles traveling an order of magnitude faster with an order or 2 orders of magnitude more energy in them. But why? Well, IEDs are changing the face of modern warfare. Their use is spreading worldwide. Just last week, we heard about the terror attack in Afghanistan, the Save the Children charity. That attack started with an IED. But what makes them so dangerous? Well, it's the shrapnel that's emanating from them. They travel at about 2 kilometers per second. That's 6 times the speed of sound, 3 times faster than a rifle bullet. And in that speed regime, when that shrapnel hits a material, be it steel, be it Kevlar, it's going to cut it like a hot knife through butter. But not our material. So we can stop super fast projectiles of any shape and of any size. And we can do this because we have a revolutionary new form of energy absorption and dissipation. So not fracturing, not bending, not shear thickening. And this mechanism is so fast it can help us protect against projectiles traveling at up to 7 kilometers per second. Right? That's over 20 times the speed of sound. So this means we're not just limited to shrapnel, space debris. We can possibly, feasibly be the best material out there to stop against railgun projectiles, if we're going to go to blue skies. Our composite can also be made transparent, so we can put into windows, into windscreens. And once our technology is fully mature, we're currently at TRL 4, we know that we can heighten the protection level and half the weight compared to conventional armor materials right now. So take your pick, double the protection or half the weight of your systems, right? And we know we can do this because we have so much knowledge in our company. We have government, industry, PhD and postdoc levels of expertise in shock physics and composites engineering, in optics and solid state physics. Now, we want to put this into planes, tanks, buildings, personnel. We are talking to a few companies in defense security, gathering requirements. We're going slow, back to asking. And our aim is to license our technology to put into as many systems as possible. When there's a need, we're also going to joint ventures to put our expertise into the R&D stage of building this material. So we are Symbiosis, and we will save lives. My ask for you is, please tell us what you need. We need to optimize our material, and we can't optimize it without your requirements. So this is the end users and the people who manufacture it. And we are in the beginnings of our investment round as well. Thank you.
It's quite a hard strap line to beat, isn't it? Versus we will save lives. I quite like that one. So you're obviously in the development phase at the moment. You said technology readiness level TRL 4. How long? Beginning. Okay. How long do you think it's going to take until you're fully exploitable?
Well, there's a linear relationship between time and money, isn't there? The more money we have, the quicker we can get there. Feasibly, yes, it's it's a material, it's a fundamental material to the problem. So it's going to take a few years, we think, unless we get a significant cash injection, bring in more people. We already have a portfolio of people that we would love to hire. Have you the money?
Okay, so funding and timescale linked, but single years is the aspiration.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Less
also,
than 5.
okay, fantastic. You also mentioned that you are already working with government. Can you tell us more?
So when I say the government, we have levels of government. So our senior advisor is the triple leaders advisor. So he's worked in industry, academia, and in government, and he's been wonderful for us. He's probably one of the successes for a company right now.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're now moving into the world of cyber security. We're going to hear from Harry Keane from a non-AI.
Good afternoon. I'm Harry. I'm CEO of Anon.ai. I'm using artificial intelligence to automate the process of data anonymization. So that's helping businesses share their data securely. Because sharing data securely is really difficult to do. It's legally difficult. You have to wrap around your sharing arrangements in a lot of legal documents and employ professional lawyers to actually manage that process. It's technically challenging, transferring big data from one location to another. And finally, it's difficult for business leaders to understand the risk of sharing that data. These problems are compounded by the imminent release of the GDPR, and it's costing businesses huge amounts of time and money to protect these transactions. So we know this because we experienced the problem firsthand at our last business when we were shipping data to remote software developers or external analytics companies. So to solve this problem, we're building a secure data sharing platform. This allows data controllers to upload and link data sources, create legal agreements with the clicks of a button, and then invite different users to access those data sources through those legal agreements. And so this is a holistic picture about the secure data sharing process. But that's not the good bit, because the secret is we're adding anonymization into that workflow. So as an admin user uploads their data set, they can specify a privacy and utility trade-off, and we automatically identify the personal information in the data and lower its resolution. Put an age into an age bracket, change a location for another location within 2 miles. And in doing so, we surface the information up to the user, and they can feed back and recreate the data for different privacy and utility settings, depending on their independent use case. So the interesting thing is, after we've done that process, we know we have a deep insight into what is in the data, who they're sharing it with, and under what terms. And we can then offer these businesses and these transactions, the controllers and the processors, different insurance options to manage and to ensure that transaction. So we're at UCL Spin-Out. We've just raised our pre-seed round, and we're in the product development phase right now. We are planning our first release next month. So right now we're looking for, we have several spaces left for some beta customers who would be interested in using this platform. So we'd love to get, that would be my ask really of this stage, would be, if you know anyone who has secure data sharing issues, I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, thank you very much.
Now, I may be going out on a limb here, but I think I can safely say defence has a need for secure data sharing in a capacity that we can only begin to imagine. From the defence and security sector, what would be the most useful thing that we could do for you?
It's interesting. We spoke to some of the guys at JHub, and it's interesting. They have a lot of very, very sensitive data. I mean, you actually just look at the Fitbit analysis that came out. I think it was released yesterday. It's a huge amount of location data that needs to be secure. So there's definitely some analytics use cases in that.
So some real data that you can play with.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly.
Now, just up, what is Henry here? Brilliant, Henry, stand up. Just so, again, networking. Henry runs JHub, that is the innovation hub. Each service, each command, air, land in MOD has a dedicated innovation hub. Henry is the lead for the joint forces one, so including all the special forces. So by all means, any of those ideas can be coming up that are relevant to them, grab him in the lunch room. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're sticking with cybersecurity with Jonathan Kramer from Cloudpin Limited.
Good afternoon, Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen. We're working on a version of the Strava app which detects BBC presenters' salaries. Seriously. Whether we like it or not, we're at war with an army of hackers, cyber terrorists, cyber criminals, ID thieves, etc. When we created our online world, we forgot one important thing, which I guess probably applies to many of the apps and products and so on we talked about today. We forgot how to identify ourselves in a secure way. And whatever anybody tells you, two-factor biometrics, passwords, etc., they just don't solve the problem. They tinker with it, but all of them have flaws. My company, Cloudpin, has been working for 4 years now to create the perfect on-screen one-time code system, which it's an ingredient basically, and we see it as being something which will help to power anything to prove who is actually using it. Above all, we see it in the bigger picture giving much more control to citizens, to all of us. For instance, somebody rings up and says, I'm from the council or your bank. All right, it might be Barclays, you can trust it, but you don't know if that person is genuine or a fraudster. So more and more we're told to put the phone down or whatever, but far better using our system. You probably can't see it here, but it's a large way up there. You have a little matrix of squares, you have random numbers on it, and your new secret instead of a password or a PIN is a little pattern or shape, which partly accounts for the name. We see it doing all sorts of things. It has huge disability advantages. We've not had GCHQ look at it yet, but we believe it's as secure as anything on the planet. We've got two versions of the front end, one of them high security, and a back end that we believe is so difficult to hack that hackers wouldn't even try. Ask-wise, we love to talk to Barclays, we'd like to talk to General Sir Wilson Messenger. We'd love to respond to David Cameron's call for the UK to be the safest place in the world to be online, do cyber business, etc., etc. And we've also got a user testing site, which is test.shape, shaype.com. Love you all to have a go at it. If you want a code for your particular organisation, get in touch. But thank you very much.
Perfect timing. There we go.
Well, I was told this was about blowing your own trumpet.
Very good, very good. So you said the business has been going for 4 years. Are you still in test phase, or have you actually got any clients yet?
We're in advanced prototype phase.
Okay.
So we need to build, or finish building 4 bits of software. We haven't quite done that yet. We have prototypes which are online and can be seen working. Our full prototype uses a principle called secret sharing. Crucially, that makes it scalable rather than previous methods which may have used one-way hashing. Not very scalable.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
You're doing very well keeping the attention up here. I know it's a lot of pictures to get through, but fascinating stuff. I'd like to welcome Anna McLaughlin and Joe Long from Crypto Labs.
Good afternoon, Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto Labs was founded with the vision to deliver quantum-enabled security to make our homes, workplaces and lives safer. Our connected world has changed significantly in the last 10 years. internet used to be computers communicating with each other. Now it is the smartphones we use every day, the cars that we drive or drive us, the medical equipment like pacemakers and insulin pumps that keep us alive. Gartner predicts that in the next 2 years there will be over 20 billion connected devices. Each device is a way into our home, work and privacy. Crypto Labs has partnered with top universities in the UK, and our solution is to address the fundamental weakness in cryptography by providing the strongest possible starting point, a truly random number, that is based on the inherent unpredictability of quantum physics. Our technology has been validated by some of the world's leading quantum scientists. We have developed a hardware security module for a major pilot program in the EU to secure the communications between vehicles and a new intelligent road system. The UK aspires to be a leading country in the development of connected and autonomous vehicles, and we are part of a Innovate UK program to support this. Crypto Labs is also partnering with some of the UK's brightest quantum academics to pioneer the world's smallest quantum random number generator chip. Its size and scalability will enable it to be installed in and secure any connected device, from your mobile phones to satellite communications. Cost would no longer be a hurdle for device manufacturers or security solution providers, as our chip will make quantum-enabled security an affordable reality. Our ask today is to be introduced to partners who will help us take our new quantum technology from prototypes and pilots to commercial launch and large-scale manufacturing. To do this, they will have the resource and industry connections to help us break the last mile to market. Thank you.
Certainly quantum computing is making the whole art of cryptography and communications a lot more tricky. Can you just explain to us the formal link? Is this a spin out from one particular academic organisation to start with, or what's the link between yourselves and the academic environment?
So our CEO, Joe Long, and our CTO, Oliver Maynard, are two entrepreneurs that have experiences in startup companies. They saw the new technology coming out of universities and the current applications for it. A lot of the quantum scientists we work with love being in the lab. They don't want to spin out. They want to keep doing their cutting edge research, so they partner with us to help get their technology and research out into the commercial world.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Right, two more to go. Tristan Palmer and Steve Cochran from Pfizer.
Hi, I'm Tristan Palmer, and it's pronounced Cypher. Okay. Steve couldn't be here this afternoon, but he's CTO. We co-founded Cypher last year. I was just looking through this and listening to the other speeches, and I think that Cypher is relevant to every person in this room, every company people connect to, or organisation, potentially in the military and defence, because it's a big statement. We want to solve data security for everybody. Now, we've heard from previous speakers, we have 50 billion connected devices coming, we've got cloud, we've got enterprise, we've got hybrid, like we talked about, serverless, containerless, and goodness knows what else, but applications now are distributed massively, and that's how we can't do anything without that. And for our society, and for us to continue to prosper, that needs to continue. But the big problem that we all know about, as we read about it and see it every day, is that applications are under threat from either threat actors or hackers, or they just leak. Why is cybersecurity broken at the moment? Well, part of it is the huge demand for new software all the time. We're all software businesses now, everything almost. And most software developers are not security experts. Security is really hard, right? And Steve, who's not here, is really good at it. And has been building banking platforms and HMRC stuff for years and years. So most software developers aren't very good at it, and you're under huge pressure to get your software out to market. Everyone wants to use it, you need to get the features going and everything. And security is not an afterthought, it's important, but it's generally a process or regulation rather than baked in from the start. The other reason that software is really hard to do is that a lot of the approaches we have in software technology are a bit out of date. They weren't really designed for distributed, interconnected, thousands of endpoints situations. So what we've done with Cypher and what we're doing is we're releasing sets of tools and services that any developer and every developer of any company in the world will be able to access, download, and easily, quickly install into their application using an API, depending on what it is they're trying to do. We want to cover everything. We want to democratize security so that good security is available to all companies, not just to select ones and make it cheap enough to do so. We can also charge a lot of money if anyone would like. So that's what Cypher is. We'll give every application end-to-end encryption, so reducing man-in-the-middle attacks or woman-in-the-middle attacks throughout. We've got PKI certificate management capabilities, and it's easy to use. I'll stop.
Thank you very much. If I've understood rightly, it's effectively a toolkit that you are making available to any developer out there. What's your financial revenue model?
We have a matrix to do with whether you have say a single mobile application or thousands of applications with billions of endpoints. But we're already in talks with a NASDAQ-listed multi-billion-dollar American technology company that has more than 50% of the world's banks as customers, and they want to integrate Cypher throughout because of open banking and all the fintechs trying to connect. So there are a number of ways to charge for it.
Fantastic, thank you. Right, last but by no means least, Jack Hoskins and Vishnu Shah from Spherical Defence Labs.
Good afternoon. My name is Jack Hopkins and I'm here alongside Dishant Shah over there to talk to you about Spherical Defence. Now, we are an API security company for banks who's built a system that is 10 times better than the industry average web application firewall. But before I go on to substantiate this frankly outrageous claim, I'd first like to give you a bit of background on the state of cybersecurity today. Now, over the last 10 years, there's been about a 500% increase in the number of data breaches, and almost a 5,000% increase in the number of records stolen. Now, this means that every subsequent attack is causing an order of magnitude more damage than was ever previously possible. Now, of these attacks, about 3/4 occur on the application layer of the network stack for two main reasons. The first is, frankly, neglect. A chronic underfunding of application security, which is only being redressed in the last 2 years. But the more preeminent reason, in my mind, is that the technology we use to protect our applications has not fundamentally been updated in 20 years. The web application firewall is comprised of an exhaustive set of threats and signatures, which is cross-referenced against every incoming request. Now, should a request match a threat, it is blocked, otherwise it is let through. Now, I hardly need to tell you that this inherently reactive approach is fundamentally flawed. You're always on the back foot, always chasing the latest wave of cyber innovation from wherever it may come. But more importantly, in the period of time after an attack has been invented, but before it has been discovered and collated, no web application firewall can protect you. Now, this is where we come in. Our patent-pending linguistic technology sits in between your application and the internet and listens and observes and learns the communication protocol of your application. It learns its language, its normal behavior. And from this, we can detect attacks by looking at deviations from the learned baseline. Now, we're currently running pilots with the London Stock Exchange and Santander, and in the former case, we have an accuracy of 99.9998%, which makes us 10 times better than the industry average. Now, we just closed a $2.25 million investment round, our first fundraising round, from a group of UK and American investors. And what we're really looking for here is collaborations with any financial institution that is looking to improve their application security. Finally, in terms of the team, myself, I have a linguistics background. I was a researcher at Cambridge trying to train computers to learn how to write poetry, and Dishant at the back over there used to hack into banks. He was paid to do it. Yeah, we're currently in the process of growing out our team to 12 people over the next year. So thank you very much.
I love the idea of a hacker and a poet coming together. There's something wonderful about that. So you've got 2 pilots out there now, trialling fantastic results from what we can see.
Yes.
If you could get your hands on one organisation or one data set to now do the next stage of testing, what would your ideal be?
Barclays, I think.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? He's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Fantastic. A whirlwind through some extraordinary businesses, actually, and it makes you very proud that the level of innovation and technology coming through. Please now use the app. Take a little bit of time now or over lunch to vote. Because we really want to know what you think, what is your assessment. You come from a multitude of different diverse backgrounds in this room today. Which ideas got you most excited? Which do you think should be given the golden tickets, as it were, through to the final of Pitchatpalace? It is just coming up to 1:15. If we could be back in here promptly for a start at 2:10. There is lunch next door and upstairs, so we'll see you in a few moments.